Do you have $1 million intention?
Oh,
I played the
sure.
$1 million intention video. And today, here's what we're going to talk about. So, if you are a heart centered female entrepreneur who has been financially struggling in your business, in your life, because you're not asking, nor are you open and receptive to receiving, then today we're going to have some interesting and kind of in your face conversation about this book. So, my good friend Shelly and I have been reviewing this book together after having read it completely. We have been going through it, and today I just told Shelly, let's go live because I think there is a great benefit to women everywhere to always be empowering each other with good books, and specifically when they're written by other heart centered, strong women. And this is one of them. And I have been hosting several book reading groups throughout 2024, and this has been one. And here's the interesting part, my friends, several people registered as they have in the past, and in the previous book clubs, I have never charged. This time I charge a very minimal fee, 11.11, just to make sure people would be committed. And people registered and even paid and did not show up. And so I'm wondering today, as you're here, I want you to say, whether you're here at the live stream or during the replay, where you're tuning in, tell us about your business. And then tell us in there if you are bold and courageous, and if you're just daring and don't care, because we're not going to judge you. When you see this book title, what comes up for you? Because I'll tell you that initially I had resistance. And that resistance, initially, I thought it was because of the cursing and the word, which it's fine by me. I don't care for it, but it's fine by me. So, but that's what I gave as an excuse, right? So maybe you have resistance or not because of the cursing, or maybe because there's a woman with a pile of money. I'll tell you because I've heard it all. I've heard people that they don't care for the cursing, and I understand that, okay? And she does use the word a lot, and whatever, it's not directed at us. And I've also heard that people don't even like the discussion of money and finances, as well as the image. So I heard someone telling me straight up, oh, I don't even like anything that has image of dollars. That turns me off. So I find those all interesting things. And I'm going to come to my friend Shelly so she can introduce herself and then maybe comment on what I said. And then today we're hoping to dive into chapters 6, 7, and 8 of this book. Hopefully we'll get through those. We're just going to go through what we have either highlighted or some of the questions at the end, which I like to call them journal prompts. And we're going to candidly and openly share our thoughts, personal thoughts with you, whatever we feel like it. And if you so feel like doing that, whether on the live or on the replay, by all means, you're welcome to. And hello, Shelly. Thank you so much for being open and saying yes over and over again to yourself, to money, and to today, to coming live, because really that shows how fearless and bold you are.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for, setting this up. When you first posted this book, I'm going to tell you, I had the opposite reaction. I saw the cover and she looks like a woman in her power. And when she said riches, I'm going to say the word fuck. I think it is really important to challenge yourself to move past some of the things that we as women have been conditioned to do. Right. So, one of those is always be a nice girl, and sometimes it's just for emphasis. It doesn't mean anything other than adding emphasis. So I love the book. I thought it was really great. I've had all kinds of things we'll talk about in a little bit, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So let's dive right into it. Let's begin by chapter 6. Chapter 6 in this book is about get comfortable with the cash money. Shelly,
Mhm.
what in here did you highlight, or what popped out, or what journal prompt do you feel comfortable
I tell you, I had a lot of really cool things. I actually write down things like every morning I read the book, and I only read as far as something really strikes me or resonates or challenge me, and then I'll write that down and I tend to journal about that, and then I do the whole thing that she talks about with the you know feeling it and imagining it and seeing it as if it's done, and try to connect that vibration and send it out into the world. And that's what I've been doing. So the things that struck me were, um, my goals are possible because I decide they are. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
have the power. We've been told that we don't, but we totally have the power. I see them as highly probable, likely, and expected. Now she'll write you, and when I write it in my journal, I always change that to I, because then when I'm reading it, it's me as saying it as an affirmation. The power is in me and in my belief. And when I said that, I because it's been nice weather in the morning, I do this outside. I have a really lovely backyard, and when I opened my eyes and I said that, a swallowtail butterfly came, a hummingbird, and two blue jays, a mama and her grown chick, showed up immediately after I wrote that down. And I thought that was really interesting. It was like kind of noticing the cues and the information, and they don't normally show up all together like that. So I was like, okay, that's telling me that yes, the belief is in me and makes it possible.
I love that. And Shelley, I think we forgot to formally introduce ourselves. So I am EBDS. I am a financial empowerment speaker, a money block healer, and a soon to be published author. And I have been on a journey this year, 2024, reading books. I have probably read well over 20 books this year because it was suggested by Hay House CEO that when you're writing a book, you want to read a lot of books, especially those that are similar to yours and those that have to do anything to do with yours. So I always thought not to read other people's books, but actually I was recommended to do differently. And so I've been reading, and some of the books we have done them in the book club or in our book group. And this one, like I said in the beginning, we decided to do it together, and we're down to Shelley and I. And now I'm going to ask Shelley to please introduce yourself.
Thank you. I am Shelley O'Connell. I'm a flirting coach for women. I help women to really reframe flirting as a form of play. It's not what we've been told. It doesn't mean you want to have sex with someone necessarily. That's up to you. But I believe women have been conditioned out of play, and you lose the gifts that come with that, like being present, having confidence, shining. And then I wrote this little book about it too, finding your flirt. So I'm loving what I do. My background's in crisis intervention and all that kind of thing. But this is a way to enter into doing the work that makes it fun and rewarding, and it lasts. You can
Yes.
hold on to it.
I love it. And by the way, I see that some people have tuned in live. And if you feel comfortable, I'm going to ask you to please put your information in the chat and chime in if you know the book or if you have questions about anything that we share. What we're sharing here are our opinions and what we're taking from it. And we invite you to get the book. And if you want, come join us and share your thoughts, or just get the book and do it on your own. And one of the things actually that Shelley mentioned that I really love is the idea of getting a notebook or a journal. And with this book specifically, but with any book, it's a great idea to take notes and to really kind of ponder upon the things that you have read. How do they apply? And kind of, it's a great way to remind yourself of what you read, to recall, and also if there's points that you want to implement in your life, that's a magnificent way for you to magnify whatever you read by writing it down. So I suggest that you do exactly what she said. So, how comfortable are you with the cash money? I'm wondering if you feel comfortable, if you just joined us. Thank you for joining us. I'm Evie and this is Shelley, and we're reading this book together. And we are delighted that you joined us, and we want to know who you are. And so, the question is, how comfortable are you with the cash money?
Me? I'm really comfortable with the cash money.
Tell us,
I
tell us.
I love money. I love the cash. I love that I'm with this book changing my energetic set point of what I can receive. And so I played around with some of the exercises, and I've been doing this since I read it. But in the month of August alone, Evie, I manifested uh, just about $1,100 totally out of the blue. It was unexpected money. I, she, at one point she says in there, or checks in the mail, random checks in the mail. I had on, I did that. One day I included it at the end of my thing, and I said, or I don't have to know how it comes. Can it be random checks in the mail? So I got a check in the mail that day, totally unexpected, and it made me kind of laugh. So the next day I was like, well, that was kind of fun. Let's do it again, and not having an expectation that no way would that happen, just being open. And another check came in the mail. And then I said, and it made me really giggle. And then the I think it was the next week, I said, oh yeah, let me do that again. And it could even be cash. And my husband came home with cash and just handed it to me that he had gotten. It was really fun. And then another, actually, bill that I had, they just gave me like this rebate, and it all totaled up to be just shy of $1,100 for August, and that was actually within the last week and a half of August.
That is
So
awesome.
it's just a fun way to really process and be open, and if you do the work, I mean, amazing things can happen.
Absolutely. So, embodying the energy of money. So, first of all, we want to get comfortable with cash, and it's good to carry cash around, and this could be a little game. I don't, it's not in the book, but to carry some cash all the time, and also to practice using cash because, for many of us, sometimes we lose the energy of what we're doing because it's so transactional. At least for me, I'm going to speak for myself because we're using like a credit card or we're paying things online. So we lose it. So maybe we can kind of go to that feeling by actually using cash, especially if that's what we were used to in the olden days, if you want to call it that, and get really comfortable. And I love what Shelly just said. She says that she loves cash. So here's something for us to think about. What does that feel like to always have cash? What does embodying the energy of money, how is that? How does that feel for you?
Yeah, I think that you know one of the things that she talks about earlier too is that money is neutral. It responds to how you kind of view it, and in a way what energy you're putting to it. And I began to think about that, and this carries over to here. Um, I have taken money for granted a lot of the times. Like, I've talked about this before. So I started thinking about, like, okay, if it's a relationship with money that I have, why would I not attend to it? I would hate to be taken advantage or taken for granted in a relationship, right? And so I started shifting my attention to, um, what energy am I bringing to money? Like, starting giving gratitude for everyday things that I use, the computer, my phone, the pen, this desk, whatever, just little things throughout the day. And it's really shifted, being comfortable with money, and certainly with the ways that money can come. If you have money cash in your hand, you can certainly hold it and feel it, and get that vibration. And I think that was the beginning to really think about, how can I embody that? How do I bring that forward every day?
That's such a great question. How can I embody that and how can I bring that forward every day? You know, um, I forgot to set the intention. I said I was going to set it when we first began, but one of the practices that I have is to set the intention for the day. So, well, we kind of did, but I didn't say it like officially. But our intention here is to really allow us to share our thoughts in an open forum in hopes that you feel inspired and empowered to speak boldly your truth about money and your relationship with abundance, and to understand your own deservingness and your own worthiness with abundance, and to create and your own power to consciously create the life that you want, the life that you deserve, because we are all worthy and deserving of a life of abundance. And that's one of the things, in spiritual circles, we use the word abundance a lot. Here, specifically on chapter 6, on page 129, she talks about surplus. I term that more of a economic, maybe someone in the financial field, like a CPA will use the surplus word. And surplus equals abundance. And she speaks about the belief that she has in surplus, which is overflow, extra, more than you know what to do. Have you ever thought about what it would feel like? I love using the word feel because my program, the FAB money scripting method of manifesting, starts with feeling. So I always think about, what would it feel like to have a surplus? That's more money than you know what to do with, which he references a lot in here about more money than you know what to do with. What would that look like? I mean, I invite you to share in the chat, and also to contemplate that, and perhaps even journal about it and write about it later on or now, what that would feel like. I know that when I was born and raised, I was born and raised in a very, very poor circumstance. And then I became very, very wealthy. And I know that when I was very wealthy, I never, ever looked at prices for anything at all. So I am thinking that a lot of people that are wealthy and financially free don't really look at prices of anything. So I think for me, it would feel like total ease and flow to be in that surplus, that you never ever have to think about, well, is there money for this? Do I have money in my pocket or money in my bank account? No, you don't even think about that because you're thinking surplus, and surplus is more money than you know what to do. And that's what the author talks about. What are your thoughts about that, Shelley?
I was thinking the same thing. I actually wrote it down. It's like it makes me feel secure and safe and supported and loved and at ease. I can trust myself and money. There's just like this. And what I did is not just write it down, but I took time to like imagine what that looked like, and then what does it feel like at the same time? Maybe it's going on at the same time, right? But yeah, it's just this feeling of the shoulders down and uh, knowing that you're taken care of, trusting, the trusting thing too.
And that's the truth about abundance. I mean, from a spiritual perspective, those of us that have like a spiritual background and believe in this infinite source of abundance know that internally. And we want to internalize, integrate, and live that as our truth, that we are always provided for. And that is a daily practice. And we want to remember that that is a daily practice because life happens every day. And every day we may experience things that challenge that, and that bring back some of the negative and limiting money scripts that were ingrained in our subconscious mind, either from childhood or through our life. So, in order for us to, you've heard the term reframe from cognitive psychology and NLP. The term that I use is rewrite, right? Because I'm all about the journaling process. So, in order for us to rewrite that, we want to do it on a daily, consistent basis, so that the more that we write that and then rewrite it, the more that we are aware, and the more that we can consciously choose to create a different story, right? And so I like that she talked about, I take my inspired actions. For us in the FAB money scripting, the actions, inspired actions, is our second step in the manifesting process. And it's good to remember that we want to allow source to guide us to that inspired action. It doesn't mean that we have to work hard. It doesn't mean that we even have to do a to-do list, perhaps. It means that we want to hear that guidance guiding us so that we can take inspired actions guided what I call IA, which is infinite abundance. And on page 134, I put there a reference. I put IA, that's my term that I love to use. And she says, I take my inspired actions, meaning I allow myself to be led by desires and trust that I'm always being guided to create, to, or sell the right thing. Now, isn't that wonderful? We just talked about being in that space where we trust that we are provided for, and now being guided that we're going to attract the right client, right? And we're going to
Mhm.
know exactly what to sell to them.
Yeah, it's pretty
Any
interesting.
additional thoughts about this chapter, Shelley?
I just think
Chapter
it's,
6.
yeah, it's a powerful chapter. It's she's taking you through kind of looking at worth and all of that, and now she's really getting you in chapter 6 into things that you can do daily to raise your vibration and be able to receive. I think some of it is being able to receive. At least it was for me, and it's just fun to see how quickly it can come. I think she also said she's had random checks come in the mail, and she said, "Now think about this. In order for you, like I said it that morning, it arrived that afternoon in the mail, both days, and the cash the same thing, both days." And she said, in order for that to happen, it would have already had to be on its way to you without you even knowing. And
And
it's
I love that.
interesting to think that.
And you know what? I missed that, but it's interesting because one of the things I always sign all my emails is that your order, it's on its way, right? Because
Yes.
I truly believe that. I truly believe intellectually and spiritually, and I know for a fact that what we are asking, our intentions, are manifesting immediately. I believe that at the present moment, being in the energy that we may be, let's say it's not an open energy, it's not an abundant energy, it's not an energy that is flowing with money, we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it. So it's like our eyes are shut. We can't see it, right? But it's already there. And so that's why I say your order, it's on its way. And one of the analogies that I always share, and I wrote about in my book, is the analogy of the Amazon order. So when you order on Amazon, right, you put the order, and depending on where it's coming from or when you order it, you're either going to get it in an hour, in 24 hours, in a day, 2 days, a week, or a month, whatever. But the
Hmm.
truth is that your order, it's on its way, right? The
Yeah.
moment that we place the order. So it is the same. I believe that our intentions are already manifested the moment that we set that intention, the moment that we ask. In the Bible, we have ask and you shall receive. We know that to be true, that the moment that we ask, we receive. And the invitation perhaps today may be, even if we don't believe it, let's play it like a game. Let's pretend. Oh yeah, just like an Amazon order. My order, it's on its way. So you may not see it, but it's on its way. So
Well,
remember that and write that
yeah.
down.
And it's interesting that you talk about it that way. Your order is on its way, and I like the Amazon metaphor because that's other thing that she's saying in chapter 6 is expectation. Like she says, I'm unavailable for the way things used to be. I'm unavailable for not having too much debt or all these things, right? But what she is saying is, um, my my energy is such that I expect and trust that it's already on its way to me. It's a very different way to think about things than how we normally think about things.
Oh my goodness, that is so powerful. That's an invitation right there for us to really look at expectations. Do we expect when we ask? Why or why not? I know that for a long time, that was a negative money script for me. When I asked for something, like I can remember when I was a child asking for a particular brand, let's say Barbie dolls, which I never got until I was an adult. And I knew and I learned, through conditioning that I wasn't going to get that Barbie doll, that I was going to get the equivalent, cheaper, uglier, that breaks faster doll. So I started expecting that. So I recognized that because I was brought up like that, I stopped expecting good things to happen. And I
Mhm.
expected for me not to get what I asked for. So the invitation today for us is to really examine that. And if that is something that you can relate to, put it in the chat and feel free to journal about that today. You know, do I expect to receive? Do I
Mhm.
expect for things to happen? Meaning, if you are a speaker and an author like Shelley and I, when you speak to an audience, when you speak, do you expect to attract the right clients, the right people? Do you expect to sell? Do you expect followers? Do you expect the great attendance? What are you expecting? Let's set an infinitely abundant expectation so that we can receive. Let's have that attitude of expectancy and let's expect.
Mhm.
Anything else, Shelley, on chapter 6? Because I'm going to quickly move to chapter 7 of this
All
book.
right, go
Once
for it.
again, if you just joined us, make sure you put in the chat there your name, your business, questions, thoughts, ideas, remarks. We welcome them all. We are discussing this book, which Shelley and I have been discussing together because we previously both read it and we decided to come together so that we can share our feedback, our thoughts, and our experiences. And we're doing that here with you today, and we appreciate it. I'm Evie, and this is Shelley right here with me. Go ahead, Shelley.
Okay, so for chapter 7, one of the things that I thought was really powerful is she said, once I have a solid why, anything is possible. And I thought that's really good because as an entrepreneur, we're always doing this stuff, right? All the stuff to run the business, blah, 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 blah. But I think it's really important to come back to the why of what you're doing. And like if you want to have more money, why do you want to have more money? What's the why of it? Because that she said, that is what's going to kind of drive you. If you keep returning to that, it's she didn't quite say it in those words, but I think that was it struck me.
Very interesting for us. We've heard about goals and the importance of, defining goals and asking the question and answering the why we want something. And here with money is the same thing. Why do we want that? Why are we asking for a particular amount or for a particular thing that we know money's going to generate? So chapter 7 is called Debt is Not the Devil, and Saving is Hot AF, if you know what I mean. So what are your thoughts about debt? Having debt,
What
personal debt,
I
business debt.
always was taught that you try to keep your debt down, and that it's not a good thing to have debt. And she kind of turns that on its ear, and she's like, you make a decision if you want to pay something over time. That's up to you. If you have a debt and you've changed your mindset and you're receiving more money, which that's your choice, then you can decide to pay off debt in full. But debt isn't necessarily something that is bad or detrimental. It's just a choice that you make.
Like anything in life, we can consciously choose what to believe, right? And what to define and how to define things. For a long time, me too. I mean, I thought debt, my mom didn't like debt. And, I still believe there's good debt and bad debt. I mean, I still believe that. And it's all about how do you manage it. You know, when I have a business debt, what I usually do, and actually after the last time that I declare bankruptcy, because in my life I've had to declare bankruptcy twice. once as a youngster right out of college because I didn't know any better. And I got all these credit cards. And when I got out of college, I had $25,000 worth of credit cards, and I think I was making 18,000 in my first job out of college. So I thought, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to, pay this off. So stupidly, not knowing any better, without telling my mom, I went and I declared bankruptcy, which was, very silly of me. Then the second time was right after I closed down when the mortgage financial crash that happened years ago. I was a mortgage banker and I had a mortgage company, and I had to let go of my employees. I had to close everything down, and I was very stressed. And so I closed down the business. I didn't have any health insurance. I ended up in the hospital, and I was 9 days in the intensive care unit. When I got out of there, I later discovered I had a hospital bill for 250,000 plus plus plus. I was overwhelmed. That was what, 1,000 times over when I was 25. And so I had to declare bankruptcy because I was overwhelmed. Now, today, the way that I built my credit back up after those bankruptcies was that I began taking credit cards and paying them off. So I would take a credit card and pay it off. And so I would accrue some debt. I would take a credit card offer and I paid it off. And that's the way that I was able to build my credit back up after that last bankruptcy years ago. So I know about debt. I have been pained by debt. And I am also mindful, conscientious, and aware, for me anyway, that there's good debt and bad debt. And there's a way to manage the debt. So when you're thinking about debt, I'm wondering, as you're watching Shelly and I sharing from our hearts authentically, we didn't plan anything here, what's coming up for you that you could either share there in the chat, or, like I said, you want to go ahead and journal in your journal and discuss that with yourself, with your higher self.
You
Shelly?
know, I also want to say she addresses that, and not to say that you have this EV at all, but she says if you've made mistakes with debt in the past, if you f things up, I think is her language. It don't attach any meaning to yourself now. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean you don't know how to handle money. It doesn't mean any of that stuff. It was just a choice at that time. And that doesn't mean that has to be affect you, in moving forward in what you're trying to create. The expectation that you can be wealthy and that you can have money, and that you can handle money well, and all of those kinds of things. And I really like that she pays attention to those kinds of details.
Yes, absolutely. So take a look at that. And one of the things that I invite, and I'm bringing a lot of my stuff because nowadays when I read a book like this, I'm always looking at the similarities because, like Reed Tracy said, there's no authentic book. We just interpret things differently, like we're doing right now. Shelly and I are interpreting from our interpretation. That's why we're inviting you to go out and read the book for yourself and journal and interpret it for yourself personally to customize it. For me, the way that I was able to go through that experience and have a different experience with money and debt right now is not from a place of fear, because I was able to, once again, I mentioned earlier the cognitive psychology term, reframe. So I reframed and I rewrote, which means I actually did have to rewrite that story. So I wrote the whole story out in my journal, and then I rewrote it in terms of where I am today. And actually, I invite you to do the same thing. Wherever you are today is not where you were. For me, where I was 15 years ago when I did that second and last final, bankruptcy, it's not where I am today here on this September 4th of 2024. So even if you have rewritten a money script, and money script is my term, and actually I discovered that someone trademarked the term. It actually is a trademark term that means a limiting money script, money belief. So if you have a limiting money script, you can rewrite it over and over again until you feel comfortable with it. And it's no longer impeding you living a free, successful life. So for me, I have written when I last wrote it, I may go today and rewrite that again now that Shelly and I had this conversation and I recall that whole incident. And maybe I'll have new insights, new learning, new opportunities. Maybe I'll have a big breakthrough. So I invite you to consider that.
It's powerful.
What else came up on chapter 7 for you, Shelly?
Be a vibrational match for the thing that I want, which she goes over that in a variety of different ways, So, and she takes a little farther where imagine my life where I have more than enough to cover all the debt and still have a surplus in my bank account. Feel it, bring those feelings into my body, feel it as if it's done, feel it as done, feel it as certain, feel it as complete, feel the satisfaction, see myself say, I did it, I did it. Now now I am an energetic match for it. So she gives you the formula, of how to do it. It's just, I guess a lot of people haven't been talking about vibration and money, and how to make that actually happen. And, I'm seeing it showing up in my life because I've been doing it every day and, incredible results. And my plan is to keep doing it and focusing on more things that I want.
And I love that you said that your intention is to keep doing it because, that's what we want to do. We want to develop success habits, and a habit, it stops being a habit when we stop it. And so we want to continue practicing. That's why I love using the term practice, because the more that we practice, that habit will become ingrained, and slowly but surely, hopefully before the end of our time, we will have developed a new habit, a new belief, and a new way of being
Yeah.
with this, with the money, with our finances, with our financial freedom, and the way of being all around, inside and out. Um, I invite you, I'm going to move on to chapter 8, but I want to invite you to the homework that she gave on this chapter 7 at the end is to get out your journal and to really dig in. And so I do want to make that as your call, even if you don't have the book, to get your journal out and dig into your family beliefs, your societal beliefs, your religious beliefs, your beliefs about identity and ability. And write about those beliefs. What you believe then, what you believe now, and what you want to believe. Extend it a little more. And that's the homework that I want to give people. If that feels comfortable for you, do it for you. You're not doing it for me, you're doing it for you. If you are not living the life of your dreams right now, then that's an invitation for you. So, Shelley, let's move to chapter 8, and that's next level wealth practices. What did you underline in this chapter, or what notes came up for you? What do you want to share about this one?
I like at the beginning on page 161, she shifted from how much can I earn and spend to how much can I allow myself to have in various accounts while still earning and spending. And to me, that's like she's imagining, right? But it's also sort of a challenge. It's like a challenge to push you beyond what you just been doing day to day and think about, what else?
Absolutely. And it sounds so simple, but it's worth repeating. How much can I allow myself to have in various accounts while still earning and spending? Because we're always, attracting, and we're also, paying things out. It's one of the reasons, and I'm not sure if I got it from her or from one of the many other manifestation authors that I have read. This idea that when we pay out, we should expect to receive that or even more. So that's just the law of circulation in effect, giving and receiving. So we should get excited that as we're giving, we're going to be receiving.
Yeah. Yeah, she actually says she does a practice where when she spends and she uses her credit card or cash, but I think it was her credit card mostly. But anyway, she says she does it with the expectation that, yeah, of course, more money is coming to me. Even more than what I'm spending is returning to me, and quickly.
Love it.
And I thought, well, that's really interesting. I've never, prior to reading this, I hadn't thought about doing that. It's just an automatic thing. You pay, you go home, you do your thing. Um, but I thought it was a good way to think about it.
Absolutely. Then there was something that I underlined. I'm trying to recall. She says, "Wealthy women trust herself." I'm trying to remember what it was that she spoke about there. I know this particular chapter 8 is talking more about IRAs, Roth IRA, the Vanguard, the regular IRA, stock market, things that I am not really expert on, and neither is she, but she knows enough that she knows that she must have them and wants to have them. Let's say
Mhm.
not must, but wants to have them. And, if nothing else, even if we don't know or understand those terms or know them, that's why we get to hire people to manage our money. And that's why, one of the things Shelly and I discover early on in this chapter, and we started saying is, I don't work for money. Money works for me. And one of the ways that money works for us is when we're able to hire someone, a certified financial planner, and ask them to please handle our money. And that's when it goes into all these accounts, right?
Yep.
And by the way, if you do know of a certified financial planner who is a female, we're looking for one to speak at MoneyFest Live, because that is someone that I definitely want to speak. I have a few clients in my list, but they're not speakers in the field. And so I'm looking for a certified financial planner who feels confident and comfortable speaking in public to speak at MoneyFest Live. So if you know someone, put it in the chat or mail me, please, because I believe that is very important for us to really, really understand how we delegate that money for our future and how we build our future in the present moment. Because after all, that's what I'm always talking about. In the present moment, we are feeling, acting, and being as our future self now. And we are looking beyond the here and now as how we want to maintain this. What else do we have? What else did you underline there? Because I
Well,
have
on
stuff
one
to add.
68, she does this whole riff on a wealthy woman and being a wealthy woman,
Yes.
and the experience of expanding into investing.
Hmm.
And she recently did it on a live stream. So there's lots of things there. It's like the wealthy woman trusts herself to spend. She trusts herself to save. She knows more is always available. Knows she can make it back. She trusts herself to function at a very high level with money, and it just keeps going from there. And they're every single one of them you could pull out and do as an affirmation or a journal prompt. There's
Yes.
like probably 20 sentences there about the wealthy woman that really are just all affirmations, and um, women are powerful, and we forget that. And I think she's helping us to return to that when it comes to money, because that's an area where we've also been still don't make the same amount as a guy doing the same job as us, dollar for dollar. So we'll get there, but in the meantime, why not just be a wealthy woman and surpass all that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, talking about that, you talked about the journaling and the homework. On page 172, she actually really encouraged us to free write on each of the questions that she put. So, I'm just going to go through a few of them for whether or not you want to share yourself, or just so that those that are viewing can work on this on their own. So, the first question is, what is your version of the wealthy woman? I mean, I liked, I rewrote the question rather. What is my version of myself as a wealthy woman? And for me, the answer is, which I have said many times, is between now and the day that I stop, whether I stop because my heart or my mind stops, or because I decide to just do nothing, let's say, my goal is $7 million. So that is my monetary financial definition of me as a wealthy woman? What is it for you, Shelley? Do you want to
Well,
share?
I actually liked and used this. She had said it. I don't remember if it was in this chapter or earlier, but she said, "Being a wealthy woman doesn't change who you are. Doesn't change who I am. What it does is it allows me to be a bigger expression of who I am. It allows me to make a bigger impact in the world. It allows me to have the millions of dollars that I see in all of my accounts. And in having that, of course, I'm going to continue to uplift women. That's part of who I am. Of course, I'm going to give in a bigger way to areas that I think can impact women and girls and help them elevate their lives. And in a way, it's not giving you more power. It's for me, it's tapping into your full power. I don't think I think we're meant to be wealthy.
Absolutely. I absolutely believe that.
You can live your purpose so much more, effectively in a way.
Absolutely. Here's another question. I'll answer and then I'll ask you to answer as well, both you, Shelley, and those that are watching. If you could trust yourself fully and had the resources to do so, what kind of investments would you make? Would you write, Shelley?
I've been really thinking about commercial property. I mean, she has investments where she has rentals, and it seems like they're individual buildings. Like a homeowner kind of thing. But I've really been thinking about commercial investments and investing in commercial property. I'm learning about other types of investments like stocks and things like that. That's not something I was ever taught. So I'm actually in a course right now where I'm learning about that. So I'll be investing in those too. But those are things that last. Like commercial, I can invest in that and keep it going and pass that to my grandchildren someday, maybe, you know, so that they can manage it and still have the proceeds of that. In a way, a lot of it's passive income.
Absolutely. Yes. So I love real estate. That's my first love. The way that I amassed the money that I did by the age of 30 was through real estate. I absolutely love real estate. And this time around, it's interesting that you specifically said commercial because that's what I was thinking about. I dealt with having various homes and having renters, and I really did not like it, especially because I was managing it myself. I mean, in the future, I definitely would hire someone to do this all for me. And when I thought about it this time, I really thought about more commercial. I mean, I am intending to buy two more properties for us to live and maybe do Airbnb, my husband and I. And I was thinking more of the concept of how a lot of businesses put their business in a building and then rent out the rest of the building, more like commercial real estate that you alluded to. And of course, I do like the stock market. And then just recently, I was speaking to a friend of mine who I'm still contemplating an opportunity for passive income, and he's become a millionaire. Uh, by doing a lot of different things. And I am exploring and contemplating other ways of automatically almost generating passive income. And by the way, there's a lot of ways that we can generate passive income. And I'm just going to throw it out there because this is my live stream. We did last Thursday a training for business owners on affiliate and referral marketing, and it was so well received. And we had women that were giving us testimonials and reviews that we're going to be doing it again next Thursday, September the 12th, which you should mark your calendar because it's actually my 10-year business anniversary. So the business under this name has been around for 10 years. And so I'm doing a 10-year anniversary. And so we're going to do the anniversary party similar to the way that we did it, which a lot of women really liked. We had over 22 women. I know you came in and you left, Shelley.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling too great. I was like, I was trying to be
Yeah.
there, then I was like, I
Oh
gotta
yeah,
go.
it was a great event according to the feedback. I even had a video because I had so many women that wanted to share. So, and then after that, we're talking about how to attract more of that passive income through more referral and affiliate marketing. So we're going to redo that training because so many people ask for it. So I just want to let you know that. Now let's go over this so that we can.
Well, I have one more thing that I would invest in: a
Yes.
team, a team of highly qualified, ethical people to help me manage it all when it gets that big.
Okay. That sounds like a good plan to me. So here are a few questions for you to ponder upon, and we can answer whichever ones you want. What happens when you release any amount of money, large or small? How would having high interest account growing your money for you make you feel? That's a good one. Let's see. If you were an investor in a new business or project you believed in, how would that feel to you? And then, what are some next level financial desires that you have that you haven't admitted to yourself yet? So, any of those that came out, like popped out to you?
Um, yeah, I think that they're all really great questions because she's giving you ideas to think about that take you beyond. At least for me, it took me beyond what I was thinking about around money and possibilities. And there's just there's like a whole bunch of different questions here on page 172 that can help you to, begin to plant some seeds, right? And yeah, it's already on its way, but I would suggest just thinking about them. And you know sometimes it is difficult to put things in words if you haven't had a chance to give yourself the opportunity to think about it or didn't even know to think about it.
Absolutely. So I invite you to check out the book. Um, Next week, we're going to, my intention is for us to finish. We'll do another live. We have chapters 9, 10, and 11, and then we'll be done with this book, which works out perfectly because I've become so super busy that I'm glad that we'll be done with this. So next week, you can tune in, same time. Shelly and I will finish talking about this book. Like I said, our insights. In the meantime, in the 7 minutes that we have remaining, I want to remind you and I want to go ahead. If you're here and you put your name in there, I want to give you an opportunity to win a ticket to our upcoming event, MoneyFest Live, which is scheduled for November 1st and November 2nd. And I want to put there in the chat your opportunity to win. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see where the chat is. Here we go. I'm going to put it in the live chat so it goes on all my channels. There is your opportunity to win a free ticket. And when you go to that page, it'll show you, and I'll do a quick screen share so you see how easy it is. I love to gamify and I like to play and I like contests and I like giving away things. So this is what it looks like when you go in there. Let's see. Show on stream. There we go. So when you go in there, you'll have a chance to enter your information, and I'm gamifying the opportunity to select to win because here's what's going to happen. You're going to be asked to share several links and other things. And as you do that, you'll have more opportunities to win. Also, by attending our upcoming FABpreneurs networking and 10-year business anniversary party on Thursday, September 12th at 4 p.m., you'll have an opportunity to win a ticket, as we're going to be giving a ticket during that event. And just like we did last time for those that attended, when you are planning to attend, register. And if you have a gift, if you're a female entrepreneur and you have a gift that you want to give, just make sure that you email me the gift and let me know that you're going to be there so that we could put it in the wheel of names. And then someone that's attending can win your gift. And that way we have lots of gifts for everyone. So I'm going to invite you to go to this page. By going here, you can register today to attend our FABpreneurs networking event, as well as our 10-year business anniversary. And of course, there you'll also see a little something about our MoneyFest live International Women's Conference that's coming up. And then last but not least, I want to make sure that if you are interested in growing your business through collaboration and referrals, that you really take a look at our upcoming affiliate partner program. Now, this is a repeat, and what happens is you'll learn how to run either a referral or an affiliate partner program. I don't have an upsell for this. So when you come, you're actually paying to receive training so that you can implement it immediately after we're done. So you're not going to be upsold to anything. And I'm doing that, A, because I'm a big believer in referral and affiliate partnership. Every year I make money through it. So I'm a big believer in it. And also because those of you that qualify, I'd definitely love for you to become a partner with me so that you can help us spread the word, the good news about you being worthy and deserving of manifesting financial freedom in your life. And so please take a look at that. I'll put that link there also in the chat. Take a look at it and make plans to join us next Thursday, September 12th. We begin at 4 p.m. We go from 4 to 5. And it's funny, one of the comments in the referral video that a few of the women did was, oh my God, this hour was so fast. It will go by fast. Okay, we have two guest speakers that are going to share some tips for us to grow our business. We're going to have some giveaways. We're going to be singing our theme song, which is Girls Just Want to Have Funds, FUNDS, funds. And then quickly following that, we're going to be going into our referral and affiliate partnership program, which, by the way, is not just a training, but you actually get to talk about your business and why you would like people to promote and collaborate and refer business to you. So you want to come ready to talk about your business, what referral fee you give or what affiliate percentage you like to give. That way, other women that are there can start referring people to your business. So that is all that I have for today. Shelly, is there anything that you would like to share before we say goodbye?
Read this book.
Yes, there you go. You
Read
know, it
it.
is
Do
often
the
said
work.
that leaders are readers. If you research any successful entrepreneur, right, you will find out that they are readers. That's why I've become an avid reader. Over 40 books this year, I believe I've already read. Read. The more you read, the more you know, the more you expand your brand, the more you impact people, and the more that you manifest. So that's my encouragement to you. And come next week, Shelly and I will be here. Anything else, Shelly? Let's see. We got someone in the live chat. Let's see what we got. Okay. Anything else that you'd like to share before we say goodbye?
Well, I'm just happy to share, and it's powerful work, and it does work. You can make it happen.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Evie. This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much, Shelley. I appreciate you. I behold the goddess in you. I see you manifesting great things. And remember, your order is on its way. Join us here again next Wednesday at 5 p.m. as Shelley and I conclude the last three chapters of Rich Ass Beep. So come and join us. I'm going to leave you with a quick video for you to consider, and bye for now. Bye. Oh, wait.